You must leave now, take what you need, you think will last. Whatever
Well,
you
g'day.
wish
I'm
to
Alan. Welcome to my
keep
channel,
you-
Allan Cameron Music. Today I want to talk about singing and how do you keep your voice as you age. And I started this video a few times, but it always came out a bit negative, knocking other people that I've worked with and how they've lost their range and their power in their voices. And that is the point of this video, because that is true, but I don't want to tell you there's one way to do anything, and this isn't medical advice. I'm not trained. I just sung over the years, and I've learned how to keep my voice. I'm 64 and aging gracefully. No? Yes? So here's a few reasons, a few ways to keep your voice as you age. The first one is you do have to work at it, and COVID was where I really learned. I had to actually do some practice and warm-ups, and of course that 5 months off where we were locked down, and we had my wife's parents with us and they were ill, so there was a lot of care that had to be given. And even though I got to come in here and lock myself in my studio and play and sing a bit, I found I was getting hoarse because I wasn't singing enough. Even talking or trying to do a quiet James Taylor song, I was still getting hoarse and having trouble hitting notes. If I tried to put down a vocal part for a recording where, you know, it needs to be a performance, I was really struggling. So I found Jacob's Academy on YouTube, and I'll link that below. And it had vocal exercises, simple stuff that a lot of you will know. And I went into the 15 and 30, 45 hour long exercises and warm-ups, and eventually through that and then into the future I sort of dwindled that down to a 20-minute-ish version of all those ideas, and that then really helped me get the strength of my voice back up again, so that when I also came out ready to gig, I wasn't going from 0 to 100 straight away.
Everybody's got to live together. All the people got to understand. So love your neighbor like you love your brother. Come on and join the band.
So it's all about the vowels and starting out gently, and so humming, doing words and going through scales up and down. So you're just gently warming your whole range of your voice. So mine starts with humming, up to as high as you can go without straining, back down to the lower notes again. Always starting a little bit higher than your lowest range, a little bit lower than your highest range, so you're never tensing your throat and just keeping a nice steady body. Then I go into Mommy made me match my M&Ms. Mommy made me match my M&Ms. Up and down the scale. Mum, 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 mum. Same. This is a great exercise, the old lip buzz. Whatever it's called officially, where because you can't push much air, so that's a really nice thing when you're warming your voice as well, so you're not pushing. Doing an arpeggio up and down the scale. Goo 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 goo. All a hard and a soft vowel and consonant sound. I'll go shoo, why, all through the vowels. Now, when I'm going to a gig and I haven't got time to warm up beforehand, I'll do some of these, and I'll generally start with them just a that and then be singing along with songs in the car, which would bring me to my next point.
When love is all, when love is all you need, and it's so easy, you know the love is all you need, love is all you need at the butterfly ball.
So when we're younger, we all used to sing along in the car to songs. We all still do that. But as a musician, that is a good way to warm up. And so I would suggest, if they're big songs that you're listening to, like a Journey song, you know, should have been gone, or Steve Perry, you might want to sing should have been gone, lower and gentler, but better off is listening to James Taylor or, you know, good folky sort of music. Hey girls, gather around, listen to, where you lower in your range and you can do a gentler note, where again you're not pushing, you can just ease into and warm up your throat. When I was younger, the other thing I used to do was always sing the harmony, so that's a double purpose. So you're warming up your voice, but you're also working on your ear training, rather than always trying to be the lead singer. And I worked in a band with a guy called Keith, and he had a great idea, which I'm sure is pretty common, but first time I heard it was to start singing the harmony that's not in the song. And that was just a brilliant, simple idea where you're really working on your ear training, working out harmonies, so then when you got on stage or in the studio, you can pull up harmony lines a lot quicker, which makes you more desirable as a musician as well.
Grab it fast. You gotta stand your fell with this girl.
Now, I am having a coffee today because I just wanted to be a bit more relaxed and keep positive, but I would always try not to drink coffee too close to singing because I have a flat white, so I have milk. But even normal coffee, that grit and the caffeine, but more the grit of the coffee is going to just make your throat seize up a little bit more. So I try not to drink it too much when I'm singing. But the real world is, you know, when you're coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning, you need coffees sometimes during the night. And when you've got a set, you're finishing at 1 a.m, you still need to have some life in you for the audience. So there is balance, and you've got to find that balance for yourself. As far as beverages, I take 3 or 4 of these to a gig. I fill them up with tap water, and they can obviously be whatever bottle you've got, so that I've always got water to keep hydrated, keep my throat and vocal cords hydrated and moist. And you know yourself, if you've ever sung a gig or sung a lot, you'll start to feel very dry. And that is the same as when you're running or doing any exercise, that you need to keep hydrated. And I drink a lot of water, and I know I get in trouble with some band members that sometimes the night gets a bit too broken up by trying to take water. But if it's hot and you're jumping around and trying to sing More Than a Feeling after Oh Sherry and Butterfly Ball, then you've got to keep your voice in good shape. And sometimes the show just needs to keep rolling, but take every chance you can to have a drink of water or your preferred liquid that is not too cold, not too hot. I remember I did a gig in Tamworth at the Tamworth Festival with SaltbushSix, where we were up at 8 a.m. to do interviews and performances at a radio station, and then the whole day was shows and interviews, and then our last show started at 1 a.m. the next day at the Tamworth Leagues Club. And so already been a hard day, and then the only water there was bottled water sitting in ice, and I made the huge mistake, because I was so thirsty, of having a sip. And just that one sip of the cold water, my throat just went and seized right up, and which then made the gig so much harder. And if I can't sing properly, I just never enjoy the gig. And enjoying the gig is part of the next real idea on how to keep your voice, is keep trying to enjoy it by the performance you put in, singing is really coming from my heart all the time. And if I can't sing from my heart and really give my soul to you sometimes when I'm singing, then I'm not enjoying it, and that makes the singing even harder. And if I'm just giving a half-assed performance, then I'm probably not singing properly either. You know, I'm probably hunching in, I'm singing back like this, you know, who cares? And like when you talk quietly, you're actually doing damage and you're not singing properly. Eventually that does affect your performance and then your whole voice as you age.
Crying like a fire in the sun. Look out, the saints are coming through. And it's all over now, baby blue.
Breathing. Now, quickly, you know, you want to be breathing from your whole body. Not from just the top, not shallow breathing. You want to be just relaxed and breathing from your whole body, and just so you can deliver a note that's without running out of air. So, should have been gone, knowing how I made you feel. I should have been gone after all your words of steel. So I'm not trying to and running out of air. So should have been gone. So you're running out of air at the end of those phrases. Just nice, relaxed, big breaths coming from your, pushing from your diaphragm, and just letting it all out in a gentle breath over that whole phrase. When you, especially when you're young and you're excited, or old and excited, you tend to really let that out in that first note. So you want to try and just be calm. And I know that's hard when you're nervous too. That applies to when you're young as well. Just to finish up then, as you get older, you really need to be singing all the time. Now, that can be just singing lots of songs. It really can. But start out by singing gentle Ed Sheeran songs, although not the high ones, James Taylor, whatever, so that then you start to build up to bigger songs. If you're going to be singing around the campfire with your friends, don't start singing a Journey song straight away. Warm into it, because then you'll be able to sing along all night. Again, all the people I know that don't put enough work in have lost range on their voice and lost power. So in the PA, you have to turn them up louder and louder and louder. And I hope I'm not being too negative with this point, but that is something I just don't want to happen. I don't want to have to put all the keys of my songs lower just so I can keep singing them. If you want to change the keys of songs, I've got no problem with that. You should. And you do it in the keys that suit you. But if you're singing all your songs in lower keys and you've lost all your top range because of it, I don't see the positive in that. So sometimes I'll lower songs so that I can sing them quieter and gentler. If it's an acoustic type show, I absolutely will do that. But overall, I will not lower the keys of songs, because I do find most people who do that, if not all, eventually start losing that upper register because they're not actually hitting those notes ever. So sing everything. There's another great clue. Just sing everything. Find your voice, because then you'll be happy and you can sing with passion, and you know, you'll want to keep singing. And every time you sing, you'll just get that little bit better. And then you know, you keep working on it. You keep working on it, and you won't lose your range. You'll still keep that range and keep your ability, barring health problems as you get older. Keep singing, keep enjoying music, keep loving it. Cheers, I'm Allan. Take care.